The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the ProjectSight in a Flash demo series. If this is your first time joining, obviously ProjectSight consists of several different modules that can help you manage your projects from start to finish. Today, we're going to focus on field management. And again, as a reminder, each Wednesday we cover a different module. And we try to do so in 15 minutes. So my name is Matt Trimble. Along with me is Jane Sozinko. She'll be our main host for today. We do invite you to engage with us. Feel free to ask questions and type your questions in the question box, and we'll try to answer those along the way. Again, limited time. So if we don't get to your questions in the session, we will make sure to try to follow up with you individually afterwards. So with that said, Jane, I'll let you start us off.
Yes, hello everyone. Let's go ahead and dive into our field management module. I'm going to turn off my camera really quick just so you guys can see everything at higher speed. All right, so very well. So field management of ProjectSight, as you can see here, I have a web version on the back and iPad here in front, just to kind of let you know that all the capabilities that you see on the web are also available on the iPad here. So we can kind of go back and forth the screens. So field management, right? So this is probably your direct lines of communication, right, with your project teams in the field. So we have all these different modules for you to make sure, you can track how safely everyone's working, building off on the most current information available, right? And make sure you're getting all those updates from your team in real time. So let's go ahead and take a dive in our first area, and it's probably one of the most utilized fields, right, in the construction projects, is daily reports. So we'll go ahead and take a look at all of the reporting that we have here. So when I access daily reports in ProjectSight, what you're going to be seeing here is a list of all the reports that I currently have. And they can be organized here and filtered down by specific date, or probably like a status, right? So right now I'm logged in as a manager, so I'm just reviewing everything that has been going on and ready for me to review at the end of the day. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this little daily report I have here for today, and we'll take a look at what that consists of. So with daily report with ProjectSight, there's 4 different sections. So there's weather, labor, equipment, and notes. And under the weather, you are able to either manually input the weather, or we have also automated weather detection based on your zip code and the weather station you have chosen. So as you can see here for today, I have two entries here by 2 different subs. And this is the information that's been entered here. On my labor area, I'm going to expand this a little bit. So as you can see here, I have very detailed labor based on the company, right? So these are all the, for example, subcontractors that I'm reviewing right now, that I have few that I entered just their hours, and then I also have few that have entered all of their crew members by the name, classification, and trade. All right, so then I can come in here and actually review what has been going on, what they've entered for the entire day, the description of what has happened, and then I can come in here and review all these hours and then set that to approved, right, for each individual entry. And then I have my equipment. So if you are tracking what has been completed on the for the day, we can track quantity and hours of the equipment that's being utilized on the job site. If for any reason you're seeing that something is being repeated right from week to week, there's no need to constantly re-enter the same daily report. We do have an option for you to copy, and that will give you an option to copy labor or equipment from some of the days that that have been utilized the same hours in the same companies for. In the daily report, there's also ability for you to attach any of the supporting documentation, right? So if you're in the field and you are attaching any field photos, right, I can come in here and do our more detailed interpretation of what happened on a job site, and all of the attachments are going to be attached here, right? So whether you are dragging and dropping attachment, or if you're using an iPad, you can just take a photo straight from there, and they'll be all logged in here in ProjectSight automatically, right? So this is daily report. Anytime if we need any additional information on a daily report, right? I can come in here and kind of like enter those custom fields that I might have been missing somewhere else. So we can create an unlimited amount of custom fields for you to document everything that needs to happen on the job site. And of course, for full transparency, there's a history. With ProjectSight, you will see that there's a history tab here that's going to be with all the records, and here you can track all of the data that has been entered initially, any modifications or deletions on that record. In addition to that, daily reports probably a lot of times are also coexist with daily inspections, right? Or the tracking of delivery items, right? Or perhaps maybe there's safety notices. With ProjectSight, we have the ability to interconnect all of the records that also exist in ProjectSight. So perhaps there is a field observation that needs to be attached. I can come in here and link that daily report to a field observation record. Or if there's an inspection, or most recent times, right, there's a lot of like COVID-19 safety checklist, right? I can come in here and I can create a brand new checklist, and we'll get into that in 1 second. Also can come in here and attach anything that's been already existing in the system, right? So anytime there's those unique inspection forms that need to be associated with a daily report, we can come in here and interconnect and link everything. So by the end of the day, if you need to create a report, right, you can create a report with a daily report that contains all of that backup documentation. And with that being said, we can move on to the checklist, and that kind of like is going to make sense of what I just said of how we can connect things like inspections and QA/QC, deliveries, commissioning, right? All these different checklists that are very unique to your organization, how we can create them and track them in ProjectSight and then link them to all the records that you see here. So let's take a look at the checklist here. All right. So checklist items. So let me see. All right, so in ProjectSight, you can create an unlimited number of process checklists, right? So ensuring that nothing is missed. So I have a list of a checklist right here grouped by the type, right, of checklist. So maybe there's evaluations, QA/QC, safety, surveys, and so on. We can create unlimited ones for the project, right? And then you can actually also save all those checklist templates. And then if you create brand new projects, you can carry them over. They're also very easy accessible for editing, right? So you can edit, import, export them, and constantly evolve, right, as things change. So let me just show you how we create a checklist. So there's plus sign right here. I'm going to choose that. And then the system is going to ask me to select a checklist template, right? So those templates that you initially created on ProjectSight for the usage of for the specific project. So I'm going to go down here, and I know I have one of the inspection report here. So I'm going to select the daily inspectors reports, right? So just my my daily inspection of what has happen on site. And as you can see here, what you're going to see right now is different sections and check line items. All right, so right here I have, for example, my first very group is general group, right? And so you're going to get your very, very generic columns, right? Pass, attention required, NA. But we also give you the ability to create your own sections with their own fields. So for example, there's like, date required, or maybe there's a memo, right, of specific description that I need to enter. We'll give you those options too. Now, each individual line item here can be assigned to an individual or a group, right? So if I am asking someone to get a little bit more in regards to this this contractor type, right, or this report number, I can come in here and assign this line item, right, that's specific to that item. I can come in here and not only mark, right, if something is past attention required, I can highlight it that it's attention required and come in here and assign it to individual person. Right, so that kind of gives you ability to track everything on an individual level and also make sure that everything is being accomplished, right, for a specific user. Approvals, this is something that we also enlisted here. So if there's a need for a specific approval, whether it's a user or a group of role users within the role, then we can come in here and add them, and they can come in here and mark up their status, right, and kind of like put the date on of when things are approved. With checklist, the same thing with checklist. If there's any need for us to, for example, attach any supporting documentation, right? Whether it's another checklist, right, or to-do item, then we can come in here and upload that, and it goes by file library within the ProjectSight. We can attach the drawing, specification, or record, right? So any record within ProjectSight, as well as model view and web links. All right, so that was checklist and in a nutshell. But to take away from this is that you are able to define your own checklist, create an unlimited number of checklists, and be able to use them from one project to another. And now we're going to go back to field management and just going to show you a few more items that we have here. So there are a few items here. So there's also field observations, right? So field observation, or sometimes they're called field work directives. So this is the record area where you can document and handle unexpected events, right? So account for additional work, provide clarification about work. Notices to compliance. So this is an area where you can utilize to direct contractors to comply with instructions, something that maybe can be issued for workmanship, issue corrections, right, or field contractual obligations that can be utilized here. And safety notices, so you can identify safety violations that were committed by people on the job. You can utilize these records over time to monitor safety records for each contractor, as well as do all kinds of reporting on that. So these are obviously optional modules, but if you also have an ability to reuse some of that, right? So you can probably reuse some of these modules to connect you with the exact needs of your organization. And we also have punch items. So to track work that must be done before the certificate of final completion can be issued. So let's take a quick look, since we have a few minutes, like take a look at the punch items that we have. So let's talk about a little bit of the screen that you have here. So when I get into the specific record, right, you'll note that ProjectSight is going to be very consistent as far as what you're seeing, and you're always going to be seeing a log of all the punch items that exist in ProjectSight. They also company specific, right? So only those who are supposed to be seeing information, right, will be able to see them. Or those users who have been assigned the record to themselves, they'll be able to see that information here. So this is the log. The log is very configurable, so each user can come in here and utilize our search panel to search, for example, punch items in a specific status, right? Or any other attributes such as location, due date, or perhaps the type of punch. So once I come here and drill down to that specific type of information that I would like to see, then I can come in here and create a view, right? So maybe I just want to say all open punch, right? And I'm going to save that view. So the next time you log in, ProjectSight A is going to remember the last view you were on, and B, provide you with only relevant information that you need to see for that project. With the grouping and creating that special log for yourself, you can also come in here and group, sort, right, or add additional columns for that log. All right, with our printing capabilities, for example, if I'm filtered down for all the open punch items, I can come in here and click on the report, and I am able to create all kinds of type of reportings, right? We have a list with all of the reports that come with ProjectSight, and I can come in here and select what type of format would I like. And also we have multi-project reporting, right? So I can come in here, and if I'm going to a meeting and I need to provide all of the open punch items for all of my projects, I can come in here and do that here as well. If I'm adding a punch, right, I'm going to click on this plus sign, and you can have this little very, very quick screen here on the right-hand side that will kind of pre-fill your created on date and due date, which can be configurable. You can come in here and select the workflow status of this punch item, right? I can come in here, type in my type, importance, location, right? And also if the punch item is started from the drawing, then that's going to create that connection right away, and there'll be drawings attached to it as well. Assignments, you can assign a punch item to a user or a group, and as well as assign courtesy copies. Here in the middle, we would add a description, and in our link button, we'll be able to upload files or attach anything that else that belongs as supporting documentation for this punch. All right, and I think that was a very quick snapshot of our field management, and hopefully we've showed you enough. After this information, come join us and have further conversations. Matt, do we have any questions that came in?
I've been able to address most of them through the chat. There's a couple that we'll follow up with outside of the session. Not a problem. We're right at the time there. Jane, thanks for guiding us through. I did want to let everybody know I am putting a link to the calendar and in the chat, so you can view when our next session will be, which will be next Wednesday, where we'll be covering BIM and 3D module in BIM and 3D module within Trimble Connect. So that will be an exciting session. I thank everybody for joining, and hope everybody has a great rest of the week.
Thank you all. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.